Explosive Running. This is a book that is quite unique, and I don't think there's another book even closely similar to it. Explosive Running is unique in what it covers and the information that it contains. It's information that every coach, if he works with athletes who run, should have in their possession. Why do I say this? Because it'll make all your players faster. Speed is king. The more speed an athlete can get, the better an athlete he or she will be. That's why it's important to learn more about what's involved in running and then know how to improve it. And probably even more importantly, is how to correct errors in running. When I say errors, it really means making the run more efficient and effective. All athletes can run. How fast and how well they can run, that's another story. Explosive running can help you make all the athletes, or if you're an athlete, make you much better. Not only does the book go into detail on what's involved in running, or as I call it, the biomechanics of running, but also the kinesiology of running and other information pertinent to it, which I'll get to in a minute. Now, the biomechanics of running is probably one of the most important. And it's not just written information, but it's information explained and illustrated with sequence pictures taken from high-speed video film. I filmed many different athletes in their running, from sprinters to long-distance runners. Each one is different. You can see distinct differences in their running. When you look at the sequence pictures, it explains to you in detail what's involved in every joint action, in every step, or every stride of the run. There's nothing like this out there. But with this information, you'll get a very good understanding of what's involved in running. It's not just, well, let's improve running speed, or let's improve stride length or stride frequency. This will happen automatically if you improve different aspects of the run. Mainly what happens in the different joint actions, especially those actions that are in need of improvement. When we think in terms of improving running, we think of in terms of improving running speed or the total run. We have athletes do wind sprints, do long distance run slow, run fast. And if it doesn't happen in practice, it happens in gameplay. So we have to improve all of these different aspects. After you finish reading a chapter on the biomechanics of running and looking at all of the sequence pictures, you'll see how each runner is a little different and how each action that they perform is critical to their running speed. I don't want to go into all of the details now. You'll see them all in the book. But suffice it to say that that one chapter alone is probably the most important thing you can get. I shouldn't say most important. because I get into the other chapters, I think of them as maybe being most important. But all of it is important. You have to know what's involved in running so that when you look at your runners, you'll know what they need. And I don't mean look at the runners while they're running. It's impossible for you to see what happens in the running stride. Your eye is capable of only seeing about 10 frames per second. The action in running is much faster. You can't see it by eye. Now a video camera that sees up to 30 frames per second, this enables you to see clearly what takes place if you go frame by frame. But if you play a normal video, it's just like watching the runner run. You won't be able to see the actual joint actions. So without going frame by frame, you'll never know exactly what the athlete is doing in his run. But when you go frame by frame, you can see each action. You can study it. You don't have to keep going after you look at, let's say, the ankle joint. You can study the ankle joint. Where is the heel when the push-off occurs? Do we have full extension of the ankle? Is there full extension of the knee? If there is, contrary to popular opinion, this is a negative. Full extension will actually make you slower. You'll be more like jumping rather than running. What is the angle between the thighs? This helps determine what your stride length is. Is your body erect or are you leaning forward? We always hear the recommendation, lean forward when you sprint. Well, in reality, you don't. But you'll see this when you look at the film. So it's not like, oh, yes, you do or you don't. Look at the athlete and see what he does. That'll tell you whether they do or do not lean forward. Same thing with the arm action. Are the arms driven forward and back? Is the direction of the arm due to shoulder rotation? Or is it the pure arm action with the shoulders square to the run? All of these are very important factors, and all of them help determine speed. So once you get done with the analysis or looking at what you can see and what you know should happen, and this is all explained, this is what should be. It's not like, well, they're doing this or they're doing that, and we leave it there. It's up to the coach to decide if this is good or bad. No, it's all spelled out here in the book. You will know whether that action is effective or ineffective. And then in another chapter, we discuss the kinesiology. These are the actions and these are the muscles that are involved. So once you know the muscles that are involved, you can devise or come up with exercises to strengthen these muscles. You can strengthen them with general exercises that will make these muscles stronger. And if you duplicate the same neuromuscular pathway, you will indirectly improve the speed of the athlete. But after you understand which muscles are involved, how they're involved, what takes place in each joint action, then we go into another chapter that deals with specialized strength exercises that duplicate what occurs in the running stride. I have found that doing these specialized exercises, you can improve running speed without more running. it's really amazing, and it's interesting how I even found this out by doing some of these exercises and coming up with them. I have a strong biomechanics background, and by looking at the actions, I can devise an exercise that duplicates what happens in each joint action. So when you want to improve running speed, you don't think in terms of improving the total run. You think in terms of improving the joint action that's in need of improvement. And it could be many different ways. It's not just strength. You can improve the strength of that action, but that may not, make the athlete faster. If you improve the strength in the same range of motion as it's used as it is used in the run, then you will see a distinct difference. But if you just make the athlete stronger, this may or may not be an asset. Most importantly, when we think of these specialized strength exercises, that they have to duplicate the same neuromuscular pathway. In other words, you're doing exactly what happens in the run. This is why you get the improvement. And you don't need a total run. So these exercises are all spelled out, all illustrated. So by doing these exercises, even without knowing what's in need of improvement, you'll be making the athlete or the runner faster. And that's the name of the game. You want to get faster. In addition to the specialized strength exercises, there are also sections dealing with specific warm-up. What exercises should you do to warm up before sprinting? Also, a troubleshooting chapter. This is unique. There are many problems that we see in running. Even some of the things I listed a little bit ago. Not enough separation between the thighs. See, this leads to a shortened stride length. Well, how can you improve this? You can do a specialized strength exercise, such as the classic lunge with active cords, because you want to develop strength as you develop more flexibility to get more spread between the thighs. So every exercise, or we have exercises to duplicate the action that's in need of improvement. And it duplicates this by doing the correct motion. So by doing the exercise and doing enough repetitions, especially with the 1x20 program, you are developing the neuromuscular pathway. And by developing this pathway, you're improving running speed. By developing strength in the same range of motion as it's used in running, you're developing greater speed. Combine the two together, you have double the amount of speed improvement. In addition, there are exercises, explosive exercises, that duplicate the same type of muscular contraction that takes place in the different joint actions. See, the ankle joint is one of the key actions to improve running speed. The ankle extension. Well, this can be improved not just by doing heel raises. That's good to develop initial strength, but to do exercises, for example, as ankle jumps. See, now we're duplicating more closely exactly what the ankle does in the run. So that's another feature that's brought out. In addition, there's a section on how to train. How do you work out to get greater improvement? Some of this may be old hat for some of you, but I'm sure it'll be new to most of you. And it's a very effective method that has worked greatly or very successfully for many years. So, in conclusion, I'd like to reiterate the book Explosive Running should be a must if you deal with athletes who run. If you're interested in improving their speed, then this is the book for you. Now, it may seem difficult. Some people say, oh, I can't understand it, or it's too simple. I get responses on both sides. It reads easily. I've written it so all of you can understand the information. It's not highly scientific or beyond your means of comprehension. So everyone can benefit greatly from reading, or more aptly, studying this book. Most people say they have to read it more than once, and not just read it. They have to actually study, the different joint actions or different parts of it in order to fully comprehend it and then implement it. It's not a book that you can just read. You will not be able to retain all of the great information that is in it. So it takes a time, and that's why I say it should be studied. And as you study it, you will become much more effective in your coaching. You'll be developing athletes who will be faster. Not necessarily quicker, because quickness involves cutting. So the book does not involve cutting. It's strictly how to improve speed. So this is why it's very important, and it should belong on your shelf. Not to collect dust, but for you to study, get a better grip on running, not only on the sprints, but also long distance or the marathon. By understanding what's involved, how you can improve it with specialized strength exercises, and how you can correct different errors, you will find yourself being a much more effective coach. Okay, and if you have any questions on it, don't feel free to email me. Let me know what's going on. The book is available on my site, dryesus.com. That's DOCTORYESSIS.com. And I'm sure that you will get the full benefit of it if you closely study it and implement the information that's involved. Okay, I hope you get the book and enjoy it. Thanks. Bye.